Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to episode 35 of Monorail Memoirs. Today we'll be talking about the most iconic Disney World music. Music is a huge part of the Disney parks. It always has been. There's different area themes as you walk around. There's specific attraction music as well. And some of these things get stuck in your head no end. There's one I'm going to mention that gets stuck in people's head that I'm not a huge fan of, but I'll be singing it for the rest of the week anyway. As always, before we get into it, Lauren, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. I'm wearing my favourite Spirit jersey, as you can see.
Yeah, I can see that. It leads us very kindly, of course, into this week's Would You Rather. So, would you rather bring back the Great Movie Ride or keep Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway?
Bring back the Great Movie Ride. Bring it back.
What makes you say that?
Oh, well, I know that we talk about nostalgia a lot on this channel, but it is about that. I mean, I was scared to heck about it when I was a child, especially the alien scene. I remember digging my head into Mum, like waiting for that scene to finish because I was so petrified. But yeah, I just love it. It was the clunkiness of it and the live action bit of it. You know, you were kind of in the attraction. It was a little bit different, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it.
I do think they toned down the interactions
Yeah.
as it went on, because inevitably, as with all these things, Disney tries to do something cool, people complain, and then it just sort of gets ruined, which is unfortunate. Yeah. For what it's worth, I actually don't know.
Ooh.
So the Great Movie Ride obviously holds an awful lot of nostalgia, as you mentioned, but I'm not and it was very much the epitome, that and the Backlot Tour, of Hollywood Studios, or MGM Studios as it was, being a working studio, the idea of seeing how movies made and the production behind it and all of that very quickly, certainly in the last decade, isn't true anymore.
Yeah.
You think of the addition of Star Wars Land, and I'm just not convinced that it would still work in the way that it did. Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway is good. That's a very catchy song. But no, I'm honestly not sure on this one. I can see arguments in both ways.
I would have liked them to. I understand how it doesn't fit with Hollywood Studios as we know it now. I get that. But I like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, but I like them both in isolation for two different reasons. And the fact that one has replaced the other just makes me feel a little bit sad.
Yeah, I get that. That's fair. As we move through then to the main effort of today's show, which is talking about the most iconic Disney World music, we've got a couple of specific criteria here. So we're each going to give our favorite, most iconic theme park entrance and why. We're then going to go and list a few attractions, and we've not corroborated on this, so we could end up having the same attractions, who knows. And then we're going to talk about iconic area loops. The area loops are basically as different parts of different parks. The music, the ambient music, will change as you go around. The idea being is just to help immerse you and get you into the theme of where you are. So with that in mind, Lauren, we're talking about theme park entrance music. What is your favorite?
So I was really struggling to kind of think of my favorite, but I think the most iconic, which isn't maybe necessarily my favorite, is EPCOT. I think the EPCOT entrance music is probably the most recognisable for me. You know, as soon as those first couple of notes hit, I'm straight there. I know exactly where I am.
Yep, I agree, and I will be putting links to all of these in the description below, so you can all check them out if you're unfamiliar. I have EPCOT as well. I think it's the most iconic. I actually think it's the best as well. I will occasionally, and I will admit this, I don't know if anybody else listens to lo-fi or listens to sort of music as they work or study or whatever. I will sometimes put on the EPCOT entrance loop just to sit there and listen to as I'm conducting my business. So EPCOT a million times over. You said it's not necessarily your favorite though.
Yeah, so I think even though it is the most iconic for me, and as I say, as soon as those first couple of notes hit, I know exactly where I am. I don't know if I would say it would be my favourite. I do still think Magic Kingdom would still be my favourite. I don't really know why. I just think that it's more pleasing on the ear for me. Whereas Epcot is quite more techy, if you will, and a bit more kind of electronic, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's just my reason why.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I maintain I'm putting Epcot as iconic is the criteria, so I understand that. I did say favorite, but you're right. Iconic is the criteria, so I'll give you that one. As we move through then to the attractions, we've got 3 each, Lauren. So what is your? These aren't necessarily in any order, but what is your first option for most iconic music?
So I instantly thought of Space Mountain.
I don't have that.
Oh,
but it's a great shout.
Yeah, and I know it's on kind of the same sort of vein as Epcot. It's very kind of that electronic, techie sort of sound. But yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason that really does scream iconic to me. The Space Mountain music. I think it's probably because it's been unchanged for so long, and it is just that is what it is. It's probably one of my first biggest rides, you know, when I was a child. So that holds a lot of nostalgia for me. But yeah, Space Mountain instantly came to mind.
That's a good shout. I understand that, and you know what? I was going to save this till last, but since we're in the same part of the same park, the Carousel of Progress is, of course, incredibly iconic. Song written by the Sherman Brothers, who are two of the most iconic, and we're talking about iconic here, two of the most iconic composers in Disney history. The song is fantastic. You know, there's a great big beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day. I couldn't agree more. The Carousel of Progress, top of the list.
You couldn't agree with yourself more. I love it. Yeah, I did think about the Carousel of Progress, and then I quickly discounted it because I thought Cameron's going to have that one down pat. So
correct. Well, so that's my first option. Then what's your? Give me another attraction.
Yeah, so I was thinking along the lines of a little bit more like Carousel of Progress, the more kind of sing-songy kind of soundtrack. And for me, that was Pirates.
See, yeah.
Ho, yo, ho, you know.
A Pirate's Life for me.
Yeah, it is Disney. I just can't explain anything else other than that, really.
It is. I agree, and I didn't have it, but I do think it's certainly a very valid option. Pirates of the Caribbean, incredibly nostalgic. Again, I've mentioned this before. I'm not sure what having Jack Sparrow still adds in when the Pirates of the Caribbean films were coming out 20 years ago. Yeah, I get it, and the animatronic was ahead of its time back then. But now you look at it and you think, well, is it really as relevant? But the soundtrack for Pirates of the Caribbean, yes, very iconic. I give you that one. I will stay in the same park. I will stay in Magic Kingdom, and I will go for Haunted Mansion. Was that going to be your next one?
That was my last one.
There we are. But yeah, go on then. Since it was going to be your last one, explain why Haunted Mansion makes the iconic music list.
Do you know, I can't even think about why it does, but it just does. It just, even from the going into the stretching room, all of the spooky music, and then kind of going through the ride, and then into the graveyard scene, and then with the talking heads singing, it's just
it's
Disney. It's really hard to quantify.
It is. But I agree. It is epitome Disney, which is why my final choice, I've sort of cheated. So it's not necessarily music; it's more the soundtrack, and I'll explain. So my final attraction option is Tower of Terror, because I'm sort of including the pre-show.
I knew you were going to say that.
You know, and of course, when you actually you're on the final track to get through to the actual elevator shaft itself, and he goes, you know, welcome to the Twilight Zone. Like, so yes, is it music? I don't know, but I really wanted to include it. So yeah, I put Tower of Terror in there as well.
I do see where you're coming from. I think that the pre-show is a bit of a stretch. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe.
But I do get where you're coming from.
Yeah, which leads us now finally to our most iconic area loop, the music that is played as you walk around the park. Lauren, what is your option here?
So I wanted to do a quick honourable mention before I did this, and it is the old kind of EPCOT courtyard intervention.
Yes, interventions music. Yes,
because that's not a thing now, so it kind of can't be forming part of this list. But I just wanted to get it out there that music just takes me right back to being a child, absolutely, because it was, very high tech when we were children. It was very exciting, a lot of new things and interventions, and with the kind of triangle canopies next to the water chair, that music there for me is iconic Disney.
I'm gonna listen to that whilst I put this episode together, just to make myself sort of reminisce. No, I completely agree. The interventions area loop. I know it's an honourable mention, but I still think it's probably not going to beat it. What's your actual answer then?
So I thought of Tomorrowland.
I also have.
Oh, did you?
Which, isn't it interesting then that out of all of our options, all bar 2 of them were in Magic Kingdom?
So I was thinking this when I was making my list. I was thinking, flipping it, you don't really have much range here. But then I was thinking to myself, but it is what it is. Like, if that's what I feel is iconic, then it is.
Agreed.
Because I was thinking, oh, well, what about this one in this park or this one in that park? And I was just thinking, that's not iconic to me.
No, I agree. And I do think that what we have listed here is actually an extremely good shout. I agree with Tomorrowland as the iconic area loop. And when maybe if I finish the interventions one, I'll put that on and listen to whilst I piece all this together. But thank you all for joining us this week. A bit of a different one. There will be links to all of these in the description below, so you can go and give them a listen. Lauren's interventions area loop is a great shout. The one I was going to mention, just to get it stuck in your head before we depart, of course, is Nothing to Stop Us Now. It's the Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway. Incredibly annoying, but yet somehow addictive. With that in mind, thank you all for attending. We'll be back next week with another episode. And until then, please stand clear of the doors. Bye, everybody.